Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading an Arlecchino Listener by me. So let's get into it. The snow was falling heavily, each flake like a shard of frozen glass, biting into your skin. You could barely remember how long you had been wandering through the desolate icy wasteland of Snezhnaya. Your thin, worn-out coat did little to protect you from the merciless cold. Every breath was a struggle, your chest tightening with every gasp of frigid air. You had been running for so long, from fear, from pain and loneliness that seemed to swallow you whole. You were alone in this vast, unforgiving world. Your parents, your home, everything you once knew was gone. And now you were lost too, a small, sick child adrift in a sea of white. Your vision blurred, the edges of your world dimming as the cold began to seep into your bones, and you stumbled, your legs giving out from under you as you collapsed into the snow, too weak to move. As consciousness began to slip away, you felt something, a presence, foreboding but strangely warm, and you forced your eyes open, the world seeming before you, as a figure loomed above you, clad in radiance of black and gray, with dashes of red that you could see, like the bloodstains on the snow beneath you. Well, what do we have here? The voice was smooth, laced with a dangerous curiosity. It was a woman's voice, soft but commanding, as though she held the power of life and death in her hands. And perhaps, right now, she did. You tried to speak, but your throat was too dry, your lips too cracked to form words, and all you could do was shiver, trembling like a fragile leaf in the wind. She crouched down to your level, studying you with her eyes. A lost little child, far from home, and so very, very sick. Tell me, little one, what brings you to this desolate place? Are you running from something? Or someone? You managed a weak, rasping breath, your voice barely a whisper. Lost. I'm lost. Her expression softened ever so slightly, but the dangerous edge still remained. Lost indeed, but you found yourself in the presence of someone far worse in the cold. Do you know who I am, little one? You shook your head slowly, too weak to lift it from the snow. I am Arlecchino, the knave of the Fatui, and you, my dear, are fortunate enough to have caught my attention. Her fingers brushed against your cheek, her touch cold, but somehow comforting in the frozen wasteland. Oh, you're dying, are you not? A faint nod was all you could manage. The truth was evident. You were fading away, slipping through the cracks of life. And she sighed, oddly enough, a hint of pity. What a waste. A child with such potential, lost to the cold. It would be such a pity to let you die here. She stood, her towering figure casting a long shadow over you, and for a moment you thought she might leave you here to perish, another lost soul claimed by the snow. But then with a graceful motion, she bent down, scooped you up into her arms, and cradled you against her chest. Her warmth was a stark contrast to the icy world around you. It was a fleeting warmth, but in your fragile state, it was the only comfort you had felt in a long time. Hold on, little one. You're mine now, and I do not let what is mine slip through my fingers so easily. When you finally awoke, you were in a warm, dimly lit room, the fire crackling on the hearth, casting dancing shadows on the walls. You were lying on a soft bed, covered in thick blankets that seemed to weigh you down, holding you in place. For a moment, you wondered if it was all a dream. The snow, the cold, the woman who had found you. But then you heard her voice, cutting through the silence. Awake at last, are we? You turned your head, your eyes swelling on Arlecchino, who was sitting in a chair by the fireplace. She looked different in the warm light of the room, less like the fearsome harbinger you had first encountered, and more like someone that you could trust, someone who might care for you. Where am I? You asked. In one of my many homes, a place where you'll be safe, for now. She reached out, her hand brushing a stray lock of hair from your face. You're sick, little one. Very sick. But I have had my best healers tend to you. You will recover, if you're strong enough. You looked up at her, fear and uncertainty swirling in your mind. And if I'm not? Her eyes darkened, and for a moment you saw the full weight of who she was. The knave, a woman of power and ruthlessness, a harbinger of the Fatui. Then I suppose you will die. But I do not think you will. You have a fire in you, and I can see that, even if you do not see it yet. And I will do whatever is necessary to see that fire burn brighter. Her words were a strange comfort, a promise of protection and something more. She saw strength in you, something worth nurturing, worth saving. It was more than anyone else had ever seen in you before. I don't know if I can, you whispered, your voice trembling. Arlecchino smiled at that, a small, almost sad smile. Then, let me believe in you, even if you cannot believe in yourself quite yet. And that night, she stayed with you, her presence a silent guardian, as you drifted in and out of sleep. The warmth of the room, the softness of the bed, and the strange comfort of Arlecchino's words filled you with a sense of safety you had never felt in so long. And maybe right then, you knew that you'd found a home, not just a savior.